Tonight on KRCB Live, folk singer-songwriter Danielle ate the sandwich. Armed with her ukulele, guitar, and quirky heartfelt lyrics, Danielle Ate the Sandwich has performed and collaborated with acts like Pomplamoose, Leo Kottke, and Mumford & Sons. Danielle Ate the Sandwich, tonight on KRCB Live.
I drove in a car headed towards Indiana, gliding through your sister states. We saw the Mississippi and stayed for a while. Somewhere in Nebraska, in a gas station bathroom, I wrote that I loved you. And there are girls who will never know the things I know, and there are boys who will never feel the things I feel. Won't you keep a light on when I'm lost and wandering? In the sky, birds flew in piles as if told to do so. And there are girls who will never know the things I know, and there are boys who will never feel the things I feel. Won't you keep a light on when I'm lost and wondering who to be? Who to be? I drove in a car headed towards Indiana. Sometimes I feel stretched to come up with enough to say to fill the time limit of a song, and other times I feel like I have way too much to say, and how could I ever bring it back to not be a 20-minute speech of me just sobbing and crying and asking my questions. But I really just kind of start usually with an idea or a line of words that keeps running through my brain, and then try to build off of that. And even sometimes it's not a clear verse, chorus, bridge, chorus. Sometimes my songs can just be a flat line. Sometimes they can be all over the place. And I don't know, I think some people are confused by that. Some people like it. But for me, I can't think too much about the end product or what people will think. And that's been hard for me as in the last few years, people have actually started to listen. So it's hard to know that they will be listening, but know that that shouldn't necessarily matter while I'm in that moment of making the song. I said before, and I'll say it again, I'm very insecure and I doubt myself, but I think that works to my advantage a lot in my songwriting style, that I just kind of go for it, and I do often deliver it as I hope you like this, I don't know, but it's worked for me so far, and I hope it continues to work, or that it continues to be acceptable as a form of music that people like and can relate to and get into. Circles like a madman, all the gerbils chirping in their cages, after hours at the pet supply store, jealous of the shapes that I've been making, and I'm wrong to be wondering, and I'm wrong. All the tanks alive with dancing goldfish, snakes and lizards diving in their food dish, all the crickets safe within their egg crates, ignorant of their last hours, and I'm wrong to be wondering, and I'm wrong. In the aisles the bunnies doing backflips, birds are bragging, puffing up their plumage, and all the hamsters chewing on their wood chips, alley cats all meowing at the moon, and I'm wrong to be wondering, and I'm wrong, and I'm wrong to be wondering, and I'm wrong. Isn't it a pity life feels short? Isn't it a shame we're all just animals? Isn't it unfortunate that I was born uncertain of that feeling that you give me? Won't you give it to me more? 2, 3, 4. So in the future, when the ozone layer gives into the weight of procreation, and all the spaces that our bodies take up have returned again to something weightless, and I'll be wrong to be wondering, I'll be wrong, I'll be wrong to be wondering, I'll be wrong. I like finding that people have their own feelings and think it means something that it doesn't necessarily mean to me, but they take it and use it for themselves. And that's cool too, something that I didn't realize when I first started writing songs, that people can use what I make to comfort themselves and to feel better about what they're going through, which is kind of a powerful thing that I didn't realize I had the ability to do at first. And that's such an honor when someone says, I listened to your song when my father died, or I listened to your song when I was going through a rough relationship breakup. So any matter of age or, race or whatever they're going through in their life, I like to think that people could go, this person is talking about real things, and I took her song and I listened to it and held it close for a while. Even if it's just for a while. It doesn't have to be, 50 years or anything like that. Hello, everybody. You are watching KRCB Live, and we are Danielle ate the sandwich. My name is Danielle. This is my friend Chris on violin, and my friend Dennis on the bass. And this is our song, Women Who Loved You. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll never be a vending machine repairman. I'll never think like a dog. I'll never touch my hand to the wailing wall, and I'll never pass the winning throw. I don't mind much these things I'm never doing, but one fact that's hard to be a friend with is I would never be one of the women who loved you. I would never be one of the women who loved you. I'll never be an admiral in the army, and I'll never find the cure. I'll never think to bring along the sunscreen. I'll never stop the wind from blowing cold. I don't mind much these things I'm never doing. But one fact that's hard to be a friend with is I will never be one of the women who loved you. I will never be one of the women who loved you. I will never be one of the women who loved you. I will never be one of the women who. All the time in the world isn't ours now, and all the roads that I drive you're not on now. All the worries I've been keeping in my head were gone for a second when I met you, and now they're back again. One of the women who loved you. One of the women who loved you. I would never be one of the women who loved you. I would never be one of the women who loved you. I would never be one of the women who loved you. I would never be one of the women who. One thing I don't like about stereotypical songwriting is the effort to be cliche and talk about roses and the beach and the moon. And I might go a little too far on the other end of being, I'm going to say something that no one's ever said before, and then that can be categorized as quirky or gimmicky. But really, it's just an interesting list of things. You think about a vending machine repairman is one of the things I say I'll never be. And I think vending machine repairmen are cool. Like they have a key to open the door to see all the chips and candy. And so it is an effort of explaining things that I think are interesting that I will in fact never be a part of. But it's also an effort to not be boring and, a snooze fest and fall asleep when you hear the same thing over and over again. And that's when I try to strive to be more than just nice music to listen to. Who come back can tell stories of places so wide and so warm, and I've never wanted so badly to be gone. And when I was young I learned Martin Luther. The words to the wall, but I never met that person we sang for. I never asked who he was. All the machines are still spinning late in the night while I sleep. Grandma knows where she's going, and me, I have no idea. Well, I met a man who told stories of leaving the bad for the good, on a street corner where he least expected, he heard God. And I gave my body to science. I felt the push and the pull. I closed my eyes in defiance, and I won. still spinning late in the night while I sleep. My grandma knows where she's going, and me, I have no idea. No idea. But I am not writing these things to be difficult. I am just trying to find what I'm searching for. I am not writing these things to be difficult. I am just giving them up as an offering. I am not writing these things to be difficult. I am just trying to find what I'm searching for. I am not writing these things to be difficult. I am just giving them up as an offering. And how could it be so easy for you and so hard for me? The ones who woke her in the morning found her body so frail and so worn, but all along she knew her maker was calling her home. All the machines are still spinning late in the night while I sleep. My grandma knows where she's going, and me, I have no idea. The Have-Nots is written about a few things started it. It's an exploration of my spirituality, especially compared to that of my grandmother, who is a very faithful woman. And the repeating idea is she knows where she's going after she dies, and I'm not so sure whether or not it's I don't believe in heaven or I don't know if I deserve to get into heaven. It's kind of that thing of she's so positive and so sure of this faith. She has faith, so much faith, and I don't. And it's inspiring to see her, but it's also frustrating to me to feel so far away from what she has. So the idea of the have-nots is those who have faith and those who have not. And one of the repeating lines in the bridge is, I'm not writing these things to be difficult. I'm just trying to find what I'm searching for. And I kind of wrote that as an apology to my grandma, who I was nervous when she heard the song, she'd take it as an insult or, as, I don't know. I worried she would take it hard. So I wrote that as a preemptive apology, I think, to her before she even heard it, and to anyone who does have faith, because I'm not at all trying to insult anybody, but I'm just trying to say it's really hard. If you've got it, run with it, be proud of that. But for those who don't, it's kind of a hard, confusing, frustrating life to try and find it or try to decide you don't want it. Anyway, the song's for and about my grandma.
So what'd she think about it?
Well, I just visited her recently. She brought it up in front of a stranger to me, a friend of hers, and kind of said, well, my granddaughter's a songwriter and she has this song, and she says, my grandma knows where I'm going, but I have no idea where I'm going. And both her and the lady kind of nicely reassured me, oh, yes, you do know where you're going. Oh, yes, you do. And it was kind, but to me that's so frustrating. There's such a lack of conversation there. It's more of a lesson than it is a conversation. Pretty girl, pretty girl, you are softer than the sheets you lay upon. Handsome boy, you are stronger than any man that's come before you. And these are the words they have chosen to mark you. Pretty boy, oh pretty boy, you are plumes of white smoke hanging in the sky. Handsome girl, you are wide and built like bridges held on water. And these are the words they have chosen to mark you. And these are the words, and they have chosen to choose you. Pretty girl, oh pretty boy, your tendons pull your weight like carpet rides. Handsome boy, girl, you are both from the same place deep inside of her and covered in skin. The same things, and we touch in dark rooms, but I won't tell you what I am hiding up my sleeve. Under my clothes, I am organs red and thin as paper dolls. Under my skin, I am cold as sacks of mazes made to lose you in them. And these are the words they have chosen to mark you. And to choose you. Yeah, I was one of those kids who was put into choir. I learned piano when I was young, kind of did it in school as a participant, but I never really took voice lessons or guitar lessons. I taught myself how to play guitar and ukulele in secret while I was growing up in high school. I would play, and then when I heard the garage door open and I knew my mom was home, I'd put it away. For some reason, I didn't want her to know at all that I was doing it. And then I got more and more into it and comfortable with it as I got into college. So I was a pretty late bloomer, afraid to share what I was doing with anybody, let alone a public audience of listeners. My family was supportive of the music I was involved in and making, in the sense of like school band and orchestra. And I played the violin a lot in high school. That was kind of my primary focus. But becoming a musician and a singer-songwriter, I think was kind of a surprise to everyone. If I were to be a musician at all, I think most people would have thought I would have been a violinist or, you know, something more normal. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Headed south on roads paved by man, we make our way furiously over steel built to rise above all the God-given glory of the world. I put my faith in a man. I put the tools to build the trust I have for him right in his hands, and all the stone he carved gonna tell our story. I put my faith in a man. We arrive at the mountain tall, with peaks as wide as a bird's wings. arches form back to hold the walls, and gravity is nothing more than what we've lost. Should have gone instead to Nineveh. Jonah knows the belly of the beast is cold. Still we drive through on a ride, and all the cars are dizzy dancing chorus lines. I put my faith in a man. I put the tools to build the trust I have for him right in his hands, and all the stony card gonna tell our story. I put my faith in a man. Oh, the bridges stand for me because I put my faith in a man. Curtain rod still hangs, the garden hose still pours, the telephone poles string their songs from shore to shore. The curtain rod still hangs, the garden hose still pours, the telephone poles string their songs from shore to shore. I put my faith in a man. I put the tools to build a trust I have for him right in his hands, and all the stony card gonna tell our story. I put my faith